TikTok and Universal Music Group have had a major dispute. So what's happened is that following that, Universal Music Group have actually pulled their music from TikTok. Now, Universal Music Group has stars like Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, people like Drake. So a lot of really massive artists are on there. So it's a massive deal. Beyonce is on there as well. Anybody that has their music on TikTok their music has been silenced, so it's been muted. So what's your initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's huge because I think TikTok really blew, in my opinion, through to all of the dances that people used to make to popular songs. And I think a lot of artists utilize TikTok to promote their music. It's not just like another social media platform. I think it's a really key part of people's strategy.
Yeah.
And even me, I would say a lot of songs I heard through TikTok. So for the music to be silenced, and I think TikTok is really good for allowing creators to use music, like which they call sounds, as the background. So a lot of people, it might be the background to their video. They might be doing a voiceover on top. So all of that is going to be affected, which it's huge. It's absolutely huge. What was the cause of the dispute?
Apparently it was over money. The usual. Yeah, the usual.
So what did Universal Music Group want more money for?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. It sounds like effectively Universal Music Group has looked at sort of the money they're pulling in from the other platforms and looked at TikTok and thought, well, how can it be that TikTok is the deal we have with them is so cheap compared to these other ones when it's I think they came out with a stat that something like their music is used in like 60%, around 60% of TikToks. Which is incredible. So yeah, it really shows just like how much that TikTok is kind of relying, you could say, on their music at the moment.
Yeah, and I know that with other social media platforms such as YouTube and also Instagram, there are restrictions on being able to play copyrighted music. So I know with YouTube, I think if you're a content creator, it is not advisable to use copyrighted music in your videos. It will get flagged. And
that's a good point. I forgot all about that.
The owner of the music, so if it's Universal Music Group, for example, will take any monetization from that video. They will take it. So it's just don't do it. Or your video could get taken down because you've used copyright music. And I know that with Instagram, for example, if you're on Instagram Live and you play copyrighted music, so for example, you're getting ready and you're playing it, from your speakers, your live will get shut down. And I've actually seen it. I've seen someone who was on Instagram Live and they were playing music. They were playing like a Beyonce song, actually. So Universal Music Group again. And people were commenting saying, turn it off. The live will get shut down. And it was so funny because she was reading it like, the live will get shut down. As she finished that sentence, the live got shut down because you're not allowed to play it in your videos. I don't believe you can use it in Reels, Instagram Reels and Stories, but they're very pernickety with regards to how the extent, because I guess with live, you can be on live for hours. So perhaps it's to protect the copyrighted music that they say not for lives, but for things like shorts is not going to be longer than 10 seconds. Reels also, I think, there's a limited amount of time Reels are as well. So that could be the reason why. But
to be honest though, thinking about it again, I think maybe because, like you said, this happened on YouTube already before. It's happened on Twitch as well.
Oh, really? On Twitch?
Yeah. Okay. Similar thing happened on Twitch as well. I wonder with people's lives, like certain music they're not allowed to play. But I wonder whether maybe this might be the evolution of TikTok. Because
it's to be honest, their time now.
Yeah, because to be honest, I think what helped TikTok to grow initially was the dances and so on. But recently, I think there's been a shift from dances really going trending. I think there's been a shift towards like maybe more comedy pieces. That's certainly what I seem to see more of anyway these days. It seems to be more skits, seems to be more comedy pieces, seems to be more discussion, and less of the dances and so on that really drove it in the past. I think
you're correct. I don't think there's as many dance challenges. However, I would still say that I think TikTok is really important for pushing certain songs.
Yeah.
For example, if you remember the Water song by Tyler that came out recently, that went viral, and I only heard that on TikTok really. And people like Instagram Reels, which might have been a duplicate of TikTok. A lot of Ice Spice songs, Nicki Minaj's songs.
Yeah. Like
when a song is new, fresh, a lot of times people use it in the background, or even even when people do things like reviewing restaurants, I notice that they tend to use certain sounds. Like that Thames song "Me and You" is really popular for that. There's also other sounds that are really popular for it. They're just like, because they're new and trendy, it kind of gives like a nice up-tempo feel to the video that you're putting out.
Yeah.
So even if it is a discussion or it's like a day in the life or whatever, it kind of adds a bit of something, a boost.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying in the sense that people are perhaps not doing as many like TikTok dances as they were in the past, but I still think that music sounds is a really like key feature for TikTok. And yeah, it's quite interesting. What did you say? What was the 60% stat you said again?
I think it's around I believe I heard it's around 60% of like TikToks that are put on with music tends to be from Universal Music Group.
Okay, right, I see. Yeah, so there we go. So I think but you know what, people will adapt if they need to. So like, for example, I remember years ago with YouTube, when people used to put copyrighted music, they did that. But when they weren't allowed to anymore, they went for copyright free or royalty free music.
Yeah.
So if people need to, they will just make that adjustment. But I think, yeah, it might, I guess the thing that we haven't considered, how do you think that might impact artists? Because yes, the dances might not be as, you know, as much as a trend as it was before, but people are using these songs to help promote their people are using TikTok to help promote their new song. So that might affect artists.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point I'm just trying to make. I think it affects it's likely to affect the artists more than it affects TikTok. Actually, I think people are already used to using TikTok, and they don't need to use it for the songs. They've got other, like, people are going to use it anyway. They're going to, you know, there's lots of things that they're using it for, like discussion pieces, the comedy skits, and so on. Whereas before it was like probably 90% of it probably was the dancing and so on. Whereas now I feel like there's like been like a more of a shift away from that. So like I think it's more the artists that lose out rather than TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite shocking. So I think quite a few people's TikToks have now been silenced.
Yeah, been muted now.
Been muted. Yeah, muted is the right term. Yeah, so yeah, I think you're completely right in the sense that a lot of artists will be affected, because a lot of artists, I think their songs have gone viral because of TikTok and Instagram Reels. And yeah, they might be shaking right now, and they might be even lobbying Universal Music Group to try to get them to come to a new deal with TikTok.
Yeah,
it was also quite interesting that TikTok just decided, no, you know, we don't like these terms, they're not favorable enough for us. If it must end, it will end. So I don't know, are they still in negotiations or
well, the shots that they're taking at each other.
Oh, they're taking shots?
Yeah. Ooh. I don't think,
What, press releases or?
Yeah, press releases. Yeah.
Have you got any examples?
So in an open letter published on 30th of January, Universal claimed that ultimately TikTok is trying to build a music-based business without paying fair value for the music, is what they said.
I think I disagree with that.
You disagree? Go on.
No, it's like you said. I think TikTok is not just about music. It's not like a Spotify or Amazon Music where people go there primarily for music. People go there for entertaining content, and just the music, the sounds is like a backdrop to it. So I think it's slightly different. But
TikTok responded, "It's sad and disappointed that Universal Music Group has put their own greed above the interests of their artists and songwriters. Despite," which is quite ironic actually, because they've always done that, but anyway. "Despite Universal's false narrative and rhetoric, the fact is that they have chosen to walk away from the powerful support of a platform with well over 1 billion users that serves as a free promotional and discovery vehicle for their talents." That's
fighting talk.
Yeah, fighting talk, yeah. And they've also noted that Universal's rival Warner Music agreed a licensing deal with TikTok in July 2023. So,
right.
Yeah, so last year.
Yeah,
so.
I personally, thinking about it more, I think it would be in Universal Music Group's best interest to reach a deal with TikTok. I think TikTok are correct. It is a huge promotional tool for the platform. I understand they want to get paid for the rights to use their music. That is completely fair. But you can't compare it to a streaming service like Spotify or Amazon Music. I mean, those platforms would collapse if they didn't have, those artists that you named, the Drake, the Taylor Swifts, all these top artists. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to survive. But something like a TikTok, where, like you said rightly, people go on TikTok because they want discussions. They go on for, a bit of banter, entertainment, days in a life. to learn things. People don't go on there necessarily to listen to music. Music just serves as a nice backdrop. So if you're not making it available, well, that's okay. You know, people will use royalty-free music, and continue to make. It's kind of like with YouTube, people make entertaining content on YouTube. Regardless, you know, you don't. Music was just a nice backdrop. You know, it's nice to play music that everyone knows. Everyone, but it's not a necessity. So, you know, I think it would be Universal Music Group's interest to, you know, agree this deal and continue to help promote their artists and help their artists to grow and go viral. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think, honestly, the standoff will end soon. You
think they're gonna just cave in?
I think they will.
It's interesting. I
think it's in their best interest too, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just in my. What do you think? Do you think
it's reminding me of when you know, in the, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when the cinemas were angry with Disney. Is it Disney? I think it was Disney for saying that they're going to stream their movies on Disney Plus instead of going to the cinema, or at the same time as Disney Plus puts it out, something like that. And then they were saying that, we're not gonna put any more of your films in our cinema. And it's a bit like, you need these films to you need these films to survive, and you're saying that you're not going to put the films in your cinema. Like, are you out of your mind? It was kind of
like Marvel and everything.
Which is crazy. So yeah, it's similar to this in that, like, Universal Music, that is relying on TikTok effectively to push its music, is now saying that they're gonna pull it. So what are they gonna do then?
I think it would be in their best interest. I understand them wanting to get the best deal. It's smart. You know, we talked about being frugal in a couple of podcasts ago. If you haven't watched that, check that out. It's The Habits of a Millionaire.
Yeah.
And it also extends to businesses. If businesses want to be successful, better to be as frugal as possible, get the best deal as you can. But I think in this case,
it might be one to do for a future episode. Maybe you guys, you know, if you're interested, let us know in terms of like the music industry, because it seems like there seems to be more and more of a shift towards like independent music artists, and and then, and also with TikTok, with the rise of TikTok and so on, and also just a lot of like technology and stuff being more easily available, then, the need for a label is, perhaps put into question so that might be something we might delve into the future. So let us know if you're interested in doing that. Let us know.
Yeah.
We've got our socials, like at Business Key Pod. So let us know if you're interested in that topic, and we can look at doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to our second part. So the second part is